Let's take a look at this one. I'm going to start over here on this left-hand side because usually there's more to do when you see a fraction. And there's a lot to hate here. That secant, I'm going to make that into 1 over cosine. That tangent, I am on purpose creating a complex fraction. On the bottom, that cotangent, and love the cosine. Complex fraction, I want to get rid of everything by the fraction part by multiplying by the least common denominator, which would be cosine and that sine. So everything on the top and the bottom. Cosine, with the cosine will cancel, leave you with the 1 and the sine. Cosine and the sine with the cosine on the bottom will cancel the cosine, and that'll leave you with a sine. But you already have a sine, so now you have a sine squared. Here on the bottom, the sines will cancel, leave you with a cosine. You already have a cosine. And here the cosine and the sine, nothing will cancel. So you will have cosine squared and a sine. Oops, why keep doing that? On the top, I am going to factor out a sine. Now remember what your goal was. Your goal is a tangent, which is a sine over a cosine, and your secant is a 1 on top of a cosine. On the bottom here, I'm going to factor out a cosine squared. And that'll leave me, excuse me, with a 1 plus a sine x. I'm going to cancel out those groups. Okay, remember the goal was a tangent and a secant. I'm going to split up the cosine squared on the bottom. I'm going to have a sine over a cosine, and I'm going to have a 1 over a cosine. Normally we don't do that, we go the other way, but I can work in reverse. Sine on top of cosine is your tangent, and 1 on top of cosine is your secant. And that was the target.